All right, so day 19. So legs, but a posterior chain focused day with a lot of conditioning work. We did legs a couple days ago, so that's why we were focusing on the posterior chain and not the quads, because the quads are still a little sore. So first movement is a big compound movement, so a single leg safety squat bar. We're doing that because you can put the pad lower on your back and focus the posterior chain. So we're not doing percentages today. You're just working up to a heavy 6 reps, so 3 sets of 6. Try to get the second and third set as your working sets. So mine came out to about 83% of my 3 rep max from the hybrid strength cycle, which was pretty good weight for that. And then what you're gonna do is take 50% of the weight that's on the sleeves, not the entire bar, but just the sleeves, and do max reps with that. And then second is a Hamstring Giant Set, which destroyed my hamstring, so I would definitely give it a try. So what it is GHD Hamstring Curls times 10 reps, or max reps if you can't get at least 10. Then GHD Glute Extensions times max, and then bridge or hip thrusters times max. Super good hamstring work there. All right, first exercise, single leg back squat. So 3 sets of 6. First set is kind of half warm up, half working set, and your second 2 sets should be definitely your working sets. Feeling really heavy today, but the weight actually came out to 83% of our 3 rep max. We were just going off feel, but that's still pretty good. And then also we're doing a safety squat bar because it allows me to put the bar further down my back. So that emphasizes the posterior chain, so hamstrings and glutes, which is what we're trying to focus on today. If you don't have a safety squat bar, you can just use a regular barbell. Just have the bar sit low on your back and work that posterior chain versus a high bar squat where the bar rests up here. It's giving more quadriceps. So that's why we're doing that. So 3 sets of 6, then you're gonna drop the weight. Drop half the weight, whatever you have on the barbell. So I had 2 45s, so I dropped it by half by taking one of the 45s off. And then you're gonna do max reps for 1 set. So when you're dropping the weight for the set of max, it's not 50% of the total weight, but 50% of the weight that's just on the sleeves. is a giant set for the hamstrings. So it's 3 exercises. GHD Hamstring Curls times 10 reps or max reps if you can't get at least 10. Then GHD Glute Hamstring Extensions. So it's going to work all the hamstrings except the short head of the bicep femurs because that does not cross the hip. And you want to focus on using the glute and hamstring to bring yourself to neutral. You don't want to go past neutral because then you're going to be extending your spine and we don't want that. So max reps there, and then you're going to come here and you're going to do bridges or hip thrusts. So you can do whatever you prefer. This is a hip thrust where you have the weight on your lap like this and you come up. I tend to feel the hamstrings and glutes more with the bridge, which is like this. It's more range of motion as well, and I really feel it right there in the hamstring, but you can do whatever you prefer. And by doing the bridge, you probably won't need weight as well, because they're actually much more difficult than you think. So we're gonna do 3 sets of this giant set. Should be good. Tips, when you're doing the extensions, try to keep a little flexion in your spine. That way you're not going to extend with your paraspinals and your glutes and hamstrings are going to do all the work to bring yourself to neutral or just before neutral. And with these, if you're doing them the way I did it, try to dig your heel into the bench and like you're pulling, try to bring your heels towards your butt or towards your face. That way you're doing an isometric knee flexion or hamstring curl. To activate the hamstrings even more. But as you can see, super hard, even with the body weight. So this one, not really much equipment needed. And so that's it for the hypertrophy type workout. But then the cardio also is hypertrophy focused, but really good anaerobic work today. So what it is a sled shuttle. You're going to be pulling forward. That way you're going to focus on the posterior chain again, the hamstrings and glutes. And they were burning, so it's 75 yards with 1 plate, or you can do a 25-pound plate to modify it, and then 50 yards 2 plates, or 50 pounds, and then 25 yards 3 plates, or 75 pounds if you need to modify it. So it took me 3 minutes 26 seconds. After you finish, you get a 3-minute rest, and what you're going to do is the second anaerobic conditioning piece. So dumbbell swings or kettlebell, if you have that, with a 45-pound dumbbell or a 25-pound to modify. 80% of your body weight for bench press, and then slam ball deadlifts or just regular deadlifts. So you should warm up for this before you start that one because you only have 3 minutes rest. And so what you're doing is 10 reps per arm of the dumbbell swing, then 10 reps of your body weight bench press, and then 20 slam ball deadlifts or regular deadlifts. And then you keep the same reps game for 3 rounds. If you're gonna do regular deadlifts instead of the slam ball, pick a weight that you can do 20 to 30 continuous deadlifts without a break. So good, my body weight was 217, so we've gone up in weight since we started the hypertrophy cycle. Haven't gained too much fat tissue, so most of it's muscle, I think. So 80% of that for me was 175. So that was a really good one. Felt like I was sprinting a mile. The lungs were burning, but also kettlebell or dumbbell swings are one of the greatest hamstring involvement muscles. So based on like electromyography or EMG studies, the kettlebell or dumbbell swings actually activate the hamstrings the most, and you may wonder why. Well, if you think about it, when you swing up and then that dumbbell is coming backwards down, your hamstrings are actually contracting to slow that down. So it's a ton of eccentric contraction for the hamstrings, because this movement is basically like a good morning or even a Romanian deadlift. So your hamstrings are slowing that dumbbell down. So it's a ton of hamstring work. And then coming up, your hamstrings are hip extensor as well as the glutes. So as you push that dumbbell up, you're using a lot of posterior chain as well. So that's why dumbbell swings are extremely good for hamstring development. I just don't do them a lot because of my back. So that's why I incorporate them with lighter weight, where I can still get the benefit of hypertrophy work from them. So this was super good cardio piece. Really good for fat burning, but also muscle building. All right, so the weight for bench press. 217. All right, here we go. Sled shuttle. 50 yards. Three plates, hamstrings are burning. All right, 326. So 626, we start the next one. 3 rounds. All right, 3 rounds. Here we go. Starting the 3rd round, 8 to 10. 11:52.